I've been a dancer, as you guys may know, for a long ass fucking time. And when you get to be, I don't know, a teen. Well, I went to my first summer camp when I was 11, I think. And for that summer intensive that I went to, I had to audition for it. So, since the age of 11, I've been well, even before that, I had to audition to be in other stuff. So, you know what? I've been auditioning my whole life. And auditions are the fucking worst, bruh. When you have to pit your art against someone else's art while y'all are next to each other, that ain't it. I think that it's unreasonable. I think it's as unreasonable as using tests to determine one's capability and smartness. Clearly, I didn't do well on tests. I just feel like if you want a true talent and a good person, you won't find them in an audition. I don't know. Or you won't see them at an audition. You know? Not that I'm a good person. I'm not really a good person. I just feel like there are worse people. You know what I'm saying? Here, let me just get to the nitty gritty. I walked out of an audition last week. I don't recommend this. You know, I think it's disrespectful. I think it's disrespectful. But, as you guys know, been going through a hard time. So, shouldn't have gone to an audition to begin with. But, I thought, maybe this will get me back on track. Maybe I'll get a job. Here's the general idea of what an audition feels like. You're there. Other gals are there. They all also trained in dance since they were the age of 3. They are all stretching, warming up, touching their toes, lifting a leg. Like, there's an air of, let me impress whoever's watching me before the audition even starts. So you're wearing your best look. You maybe have your hair a different way than you would normally have it because it's audition time, baby. And it's just everybody's very crisp and ready to go. But they're also being judged, and you're being judged, and you're judging others, and it's just a judge fest. So it kind of, the vibe sucks immediately, and there's like literally no way for it not to suck. So my general attitude to make it suck less is just have a good time. Just think about it like you're taking an everyday class, and it'll go by and it'll feel fine, right? So I typically have this mindset for all my auditions because there are auditions where you get cut immediately and it sucks. I did quite a few ballet auditions, and one time I got cut at tondus. Tondus, if you know anything about ballet, is the literal second thing you do in a class. Maybe 5 minutes in. So, yeah, they were like, and I was like, there's no way you could have seen my talents, but whatever. And most of the time, I chalk it up to like, I mean, maybe I wasn't as talented, but I think it's very impossible to be able to tell who's talented or not based on the second combination that you give someone. I just don't think it's that. So usually I chalk those decisions up to like how tall I fucking am. Like I'm 5'11" and it's kind of wild. So most of the time when I got cut very early on in auditions, I was like, it just probably wasn't what they were looking for. Unless you're cut later on in an audition, and then it's like, well, maybe I wasn't good, which has also happened to me. Regardless, here I am in this audition last week, and I'm judging people. And it's just it's gross, you know, because I don't want to do that. Like, I just want to put blinders on and just take this class and be fine. But so much of me is like, oh God, look at how that, oh God, she's got this going on with the leg behind her head over here, or this girl's doing push-ups and I can't even do one. You know, just there's a lot of things that you're just like, oh, okay. But then you start getting mean and you're like, why is she wearing a Lululemon sports bra and leggings? Clearly, if she can afford Lululemon, she shouldn't have this job. And these are just the thoughts that cross my mind. Like, I don't know. There's just, it's a negative vibe, and I don't like that. So right off the bat, I'm stressed, I'm nervous, and I don't want to be there from the jump, because I am sad. So just, not in a good headspace for a dance audition. The choreographers come in, they introduce themselves. Everybody's like, okay, let's go, let's get started. She starts teaching us this across the floor combination. Now, when you are in a room filled with other gals, you're all scooped tight together. And when you're learning a combination that goes across the floor, you all have to scoop even more to one side so that you can travel, right? So there's like spreading out in the middle and learning a combination here, or there's squishing all to the left side and hoping for the goddamn best. So I'm marking out this combination, and marking essentially means doing it like tinier, doing everything small so that you can pick it up for your brain, right? But there are some people who, despite being literally jam-packed, want to mark it full out. And that's, to me, that tells me that you're trying to get attention while you're just picking the combination up. Typically, they don't start watching until you do the combination across the floor in groups. So that's why you mark it tiny so that you don't fucking kick somebody. But somebody kicked me, so that's when it was on. Well, it wasn't on. Like, I'm not gonna do anything, but there was a turn, a full attitude turn where your leg is like up, you know, and she did it full out while we were all, she was like here. I'm like, you can't really be doing like full arms and legs when there's human beings right here. But she did. And she was in her Lululemon sports bra and leggings, and I was, yes, I'm judging her, but it was very annoying, and I was like, this is not my environment. I cannot excel in a space where people are just fighting for attention. But then you think about it and you go, she's doing the audition right, and I'm doing it wrong. Duh. You're fighting for attention. That is literally what an audition is. You want to be the best one in the room. How do you show that you're the best one in the room? You mark it full out so that when you do it across the floor full out, it looks fucking bomb. Whereas because I marked it like a little baby bitch and I was like, turn, scoop, and scoop. When I do it across the floor, it's for the very first time. And I'm not tested. I didn't test my balance. I didn't test my arms. I didn't make sure that I was doing anything right because I marked it. Now, maybe it's common courtesy to mark when you're in audition and there's people directly in front of you. Maybe it is. But guess who's going to do the combination better? She. Probably. Statistically. Just like practically speaking, she probably is. So then I'm like, well, shit. I'm not this person, but I can't judge this person, you know? She's doing what she needs to do to get the fucking job. And I'm not willing to do that. And that's what I said. I said, I'm not willing to do what I need to do to get this fucking job. So I'm gonna go home. combination of that and just everything else happening to me, but I fucking left, dude. And I promise, I'm not saying that this is a smart move. I don't think that you should do this. Because, you know, I signed up. I luckily didn't pay money. Typically, you do have to pay money. And I think that was another factor. I was like, well, I didn't pay for this shit, so I'm just gonna go. And also, like, I'm not, I don't know how to say this. I'm not good at picking things up very quickly. I'm good at picking it up exactly. So I'm very, like, focused on the perfection of it, and that slows my brain down. So if I'm, like, watching someone do something, I'm like, okay, make sure that my hand looks exactly the same and my arm is, like, at the exact openness as the person that I'm watching. And when I do that, it just takes me so long to pick things up. And in an audition, man, this girl was like, pick it up now. Like, it was just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I was like, so I didn't even think that I could succeed because I wasn't even sure that I picked it up. So there was a lot of things, and I wasn't feeling it, and I had to go. So I brought a friend with me. I'm so sorry, Leah, but I brought her with me, and I convinced her to go to this audition with me, only to leave her. Ooh. So I walked all defiantly across the room, so we're all squished over here, and the exit's over here. And I had to walk and feel eyes on the back of my head as I walked, grabbed my stuff, and swiftly exited. And by swiftly, I mean terribly. It got worse. So now here's the exit. So I exit out one door, and then I'm in a parking lot, and there's a gate closed. And in order to get out of the lot, the gate had to open. But the parking lot doesn't have cars in it. No one's there because everybody's inside, right? So then I burst into tears. You know, I was so cool. I walked out of that audition like, fuck this audition, bruh. I'm better than this shit, bruh. And then right when I walked out, I just burst into tears because I was like, what am I doing? I walked out of an audition, and now I can't even exit the fucking game. What do I do now? You know, it wasn't cute. I was Harak, honestly. And I just regret. Ooh, it's so hard to say regret because I know that I don't regret. And I know that I needed to walk out of that audition for my gosh darn mental health. But man, it was just like, I was very disrespectful. And then I was second guessing everything. And I was like, did I need to do that? Did I need to be this dramatic? Or could I have lasted throughout the audition? But then I went over to Nikki's.
Hey, I went over to Nikki's because I got out of the garage. I didn't say the end of the fucking story, but like 25, 30 minutes later, a guy just so happened to open the garage and pull his car in. So I snuck out then, but I was sitting outside the audition for 25 minutes listening to the music and everybody dancing. It was fun.
And had a great time, laughed, watched some Christmas films, and I got a text from my friend who I left there. Leah, I'm so sorry. At about 4 o'clock p.m. The audition started at 9:30 a.m. And Leah said she was still there. She made it through all the cuts, and she made it to the interview section, and I felt bad, but also congratulations, but also she didn't need the job, so she was at that audition from 9 until 4. Yeah. And then I realized I made the right choice. because that would have been really bad. Even if I wanted to like maintain respect, I was doing so poorly that I would have just panicked the rest of the time and had horrible memes. Horrible memes. So I'm glad I did what I did. I am sorry, Leah. I don't know if any of this made sense to the people watching, but you know, thought I'd tell the story any hoozles. I hope you guys are very well. Tell me if you're not. We can chat about it. And subscribe to my channel. Maybe follow me if you want more updates on me. And I'll see you guys next time. That sounded like a dolphin. Hope you guys heard it. It's a dolphin.